Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Mediocre Gamer Man. I know it's been a minute, and there should be another video that's dropping right before this. I had a whole bunch of stuff happen in real life that forced me to take some time off. But I'm back now. It shouldn't happen again, but it's just been kind of nonstop trying to get everything set up. As you can see, I've got a little sunspot right here that I can't get rid of right now just because of the setup I have in the living room and it's midday. But it should go away on its own. But hopefully we're getting ready to go to the Sunken Shrine. We don't have a whole lot longer left in the game. I think we've got two more. We've got the two more crystals, and then we got the final boss. Now, in order to go ahead and get through this game, I'm going to kind of skip past a lot of stuff. I'm going to only edit in, just like I did with the last video. Hopefully, I haven't fully edited it yet, but I should be able to edit out most of the random battles. I'm going to edit out most of the nonsense buying stuff and any farming that I do. And it's just going to stick to major portions of the game where something interesting is happening. This game's a lot of battling. I didn't realize how much. And honestly, I don't want, because it's 10 hours worth of gameplay so far that I've done. I don't want to have just 10 hours of you watching me just nonstop battle stuff. I don't find that interesting. I don't think you would find it interesting. I want this to be kind of a quick playthrough, because the rest of the games of the series start getting more and more interesting, and I want to get to them. I've already taken a lot longer on this series with this game than I intended, just because of the nature of how random battles work. But let's get to it. Let's get to the Sunken Shrine, and I think we're gonna be able to get through this game. If not in this episode, we'll have one more episode to go just to get through the Chaos Shrine. So let's get to it. The Sunken Shrine is actually here in Onrock. You actually go all the way over here, and there's a sub. Here's a sub right here in the bottom, and you take that to the shrine. So, but I'm gonna go make sure I've got everything I need. There's new items here. I don't know if I've already bought everything. I think so, because I've only got 30,000. Let me double check. I can tell just by going to the magics. Yeah, I wouldn't have bought those. Okay, so yeah, I've already bought everything. The problem is, once you get to this point, you don't really find any... Oh. You don't find any good items or magic or anything. Yeah, see, I've got Blizzaga. You don't find anything in shops at this point. It's mostly finding the items in the world. So... yeah, have Oxyale. Let's go to the Shrunken Shrine. This shrine is huge. It's 5 total floors, and 3 of the floors have 2 different sides. So it is insane, the amount of, you actually have to go through. But I'm going to get to, there's a couple of areas we need to get to pick up key items. I will show those areas, but the rest of it, I'm just going to work my way through, because you don't need to watch me go through this huge beast of an area. So I will see you when we get to the next little bit, okay? Okay, so I meant to show this part, and I'll probably show it just as I get it. But in this treasure chest here, on this floor, it's kind of confusing. The floor is L2B, or floor 2B. You get the ribbon, which... once you get the ribbon, life is so much easier. So it guards against elemental effects and status effects. Now, unlike other games, it's not 100%. I have actually had the ribbon on and been petrified. I have had the ribbon on and gotten poisoned. It just guards against it. But the rate of getting it is very low. So definitely put that on the one that's going to hit the most. Or you can put it on your healer if they have healing abilities. It really depends on how you want to play. I like to keep it on my white wizard or on my healer, because if they go down, there's a problem. If anybody else goes down, they can bring them up. So I keep it on them. With items, it's not as important, but it definitely does help, because you can use an item and then the wizard, and you have a double heal. So Just want to point that out. The ribbon is there. It takes a minute to get through. I do want to show one other thing while we're here. Once you get to the point of having items that can cast spells, the game gets a lot easier. What I mean is you attack with your first two guys, and then you choose your items. You got a healing staff, which will use heal. Now, heal's not as strong as like Hilra, but it's not bad. And then use the gauntlets or something that casts. There's one that does fire, there's one that does Blizzra, and there's one that does Thundara. Thundara is great here because it's water. And you'll see the heal is going to keep your guys topped up constantly. And then the Thundara is going to do some serious damage, especially in the hands of a black mage. It's going to allow you to cheese your way through. I know that sounds terrible, but in a game that's already arduous in maintaining dungeons and like traversing through dungeons, you're definitely going to want something that evens that playing field, you know? So, but we'll be the boss soon. This is actually where the boss is. I'm going to actually turn around and go back because I can never remember which way to go here to get to where I want. But there's two different ways. There's an up and a down. And if you go up, you get to the boss. If you go down, you get to like all the other items. So I need to go back down and get to all the other items, and I can come back up through here. But I'll see you when we get to the boss, or there's one other item that's a key item that's on the bottom floor, and I'll show you how to get to it. But I'll see you then. Okay, so we're in an area here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of like different things to get to. There is a special item. If I remember correctly, it's actually up here, and you actually get to it by going up into this corner, and it circles you around to here. But there's a whole bunch of items. I think almost every one of these areas has an item in it. So I'm going to go and grab all the items. I'll show you the ones, there's a few that are actually pretty decent, and I'll kind of go over those as I get them, but we'll get there as we get there, as opposed to you watching me do the whole thing. So see you in a minute. Okay, I want to point out real quick while I'm thinking about it. I was wrong. There's not one in almost every one of them, as you can see. If you go into one, it'll show you where all of them are. There's actually only a couple that have them, maybe about half. But all right, so I'll see you in just a moment. I just want to point that out before I forgot to do it. Okay, so now we're gonna go circle around here and then get to this one. And this one has diamond gloves, diamond helm, and then a key item, the Rosetta Stone. So, and we'll be using that a little bit later. But the diamond stuff, the diamond is fantastic. Let's see, that guard's against instant death. You know what? It's worth it to keep that on because of Earthquake. So, we're now at the boss of the Sunken Shrine. And this is Kraken. So, it's a third of the Elemental Fiends. A lot of guys say he's about the most difficult. I would tend to agree. If you've properly prepared, he's not that bad. Some of the things you want to make sure you prepare, if you've gotten them. See, I don't have it on here. It's things like Null Shock. You want to make sure you're prepared to heal because he can do some serious damage very quickly. Make sure that you top all of your characters off. It shouldn't be that difficult if you've been using the gauntlets and the heal staff that I told you about. Now, just like before, we're going to temper one guy, and we're going to keep pushing him and pushing him and pushing him until he's hitting for enough that he just destroys the boss in a couple turns. If you don't have something like that, now once you've gotten to this point in the game, if you do not have the ability to use temper, like you don't have a black mage or a red mage, Giant's Gloves cast Saber, which is a form of temper. It's not as strong, but it's black mage only. It increases their damage, and it can be very useful. It won't increase it as high as temper, but you can keep increasing it just like you can temper, and it will keep increasing over and over and over. So use that to your advantage. But let's go on ahead. Once again, just like a lot of bosses, these bosses don't have a lot of funky mechanics. So it's all about doing as much damage as possible and getting that damage out. And then, just watching your health. That's the big thing. Watch your health, because he will knock your health out really quick if you're not paying attention. So what we're going to do is, like I said, I don't have the Null Shock. So we are going to focus down on... Well, this reduces damage of spells by half, so we can cast that. It won't go on the entire party, but let's cast it. Yeah, we'll cast it on each of them in turn. And then temper. Where's temper? Does he not have temper too? Yeah, he does. There we go. So temper. It's aggravating. It missed. I wonder why it missed. That's fine. So in the meantime, let's not waste any more of that if it's not going to work. Pilara. We'll cast heal for now. So yeah, he's increasing in power. You got 2 people casting temper on him at a time. We got the white mage casting heal, which heal's going to should do more healing than the actual heal staff, or it should do just about the same, which would be around 50. Yeah. So with each turn, he's going to do more and more damage. We're going ahead and do a Hilara here. Of course, he's blind. It's all right. It's not going to matter. We'll heal his blindness next turn. That should be the last. This may actually be the end of it. Yeah. Like I said, quick and dirty. Or quick and clean. Quick and dirty is probably a little bit better, because it's not a clean kill. It's kind of cheesing it a little bit, but it works really, really well. It's really effective, especially if you're powered up enough. Now, if you're doing like a low level playthrough, you're definitely going to use every single thing at your advantage. So, but yeah, not too bad. We got the water crystal now. Water crystal's done. And we will circle around here and exit. Okay, so from here, yeah, we don't really need to heal. This is weird. I don't know how they would ever expect anybody to figure this stuff out without just like traveling all over the world. But we need to go all the way up here. Or right here. I think it's right here. It's just a waterfall. So, like I said, I don't know how they know anybody or how they expect anyone to know where to go, because I mean it's not laid out very clear. So it's kind of frustrating, really, if you're playing it blind, because I did that and that was painful. I ended up, because this is pixel rematch, I think I ended up beating it at like level 70 something, because I spent so much time trying to find stuff and not being able to do anything. So pretty sure it was on this one. How was it? No, I may have been at 50. I think I may have ended it at 50. I'm maybe thinking of 2. Okay, so we've got to get down here to the corner and then make our way around. It's so confusing, but we'll get there. It's a really short little cave, and I'm not entirely sure why the developers of this game decided that this was in any way a good idea. Or how it met with the story. There's this right here raises so many questions. Like, everything else in this game is like, you know, dark elves and titans and earth golems, and there are so many things about this game that fit every last one of the D&D tropes almost to the T. You know, every battle, everything is all you're facing against enemies that seem normal for a world such as this. And then when we get down here to the end, we are going to meet the one thing that does not have a place here. I don't know why it's here. It doesn't fit in any point of this game. There's nothing about this game that while playing it, I went, oh, that's exactly what it needed. And I know you're all like, wait, what is he talking about? I want you to think of what is the weirdest possible thing that you can think of in Final Fantasy 1. Like let's say if you're trying to add like the weirdest possible character you could think of. What just does not fit? Does not fit. And I know the idea of what they're going with because of like what the actual story is. But once again, the weirdest, I mean, absolute weirdest thing you can think of. Are you ready? You ready? Not that. It's that thing walking right there. And you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that may just be like a clay golem or something. You know, I mean, it kind of looks different than the Titan that we saw. You know, that we handed the Star Ruby to and he launched on it. But it looks very similar to like a golem or maybe a mummy or, you know, any number of things that seems within the realm of possibilities. But no, we're going to go up here. I've been waiting. Take this cube, TM it, Flying Fortress. It's a robot. A robot. It's the absolute weirdest thing. And in case you're wondering, buzzword. Like, it makes it pretty clear exactly what it is. So, none of that makes any sense. I mean, I get it. Because the whole thing behind this is it's time travel, right? So, I mean, I get it. Ooh, a sword that casts blink. Also useful. We got another worm killer. That casts Diara when used, which is actually pretty useful as well. But I don't know, it's so weird. It's such a weird thing. I'm gonna put the ribbon on my red mage. If I am correct, we get one more ribbon. So. But yeah. It's such a weird thing. Just, I mean, and it's like nothing before now made me think, oh yeah, there's going to be a time traveling robot at some point. So I'm not, maybe there was a reason and maybe it's something I'm just overlooking. I mean, you know, there's like the teleporters and stuff like that, but that can all be explained with like the magic of the world and things of that nature, especially when you think about D&D. But it doesn't, robots do not fit this world in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. So anyway, that's Waterfall Cave. We'll get outside and then we'll go to our next destination, which will get us the final crystal that we need. So there's a lot more to that because there's a lot of stuff we need to do to get there, but we'll get there. Okay, so once you get your airship back, you're going to want to travel. And you're going to go from up here, which is on rock, all the way down here to Melmond. Once you get to Melmond, you're going to make your way. I'm trying to remember. Oh, up by the graveyard. Physics. This guy. You'll talk to him. He's going to get all excited about this warp cube that this robot gave us. Or no. I'm sorry. He doesn't get excited about the warp cube. He gets excited about the Rosetta Stone, which we got from Sunken Shrine. The warp cube we get from, or it helps us with the Flying Fortress. Yeah, and now he's going to teach us Lufinian. A whole bunch of bouncing and head nodding, which is just strange. And now we can speak the language in 10 minutes. I don't even know if it took that long. Maybe by game standards it did. Okay, so let's head out of Melmond, and we're going to go to Lufinia. Lufinia is up here. It's up here or up here. We'll get there. We got to park our thing all the way up here. Travel all the way down to here. So, this game doesn't like to make it easy. Yeah, Lufinia's right here. And there's nowhere to land anywhere around here. I don't know why they made this. I guess so that changes it up, but it's aggravating. You have to land all the way up here. And you have to walk all the way down. Yeah, so we made it to Lufinia. And now, you know, you can actually speak to them. So there's really nothing here. We need to talk to one of them. I think the one's over there. You basically have to talk to them until one of them tells you, "Hey, you know, here's the bell." Yeah, here it is. This one over here in the corner. So you obtain the chime. Now you got to go to the flying fortress. So back out to the airship. Easiest way. Oh, hey. Oh, there are spells and stuff. Are there? No, nothing else. Okay. Let's see what they got. Full life. Oh, yeah, we're definitely buying that. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, taking that off because it was aggravating. All right, let's head on over here. Flare. That's where you get flare. I feel like a big dumb dummy now. Okay. Let's head on out. Now we gotta go to the flying fortress, which is in the desert area right here. So we gotta go all the way back up to our ship. Okay, so once you've gotten back to your airship, you'll see the towers right here. Really the only place to land is down here in the bottom, and you have to traverse. Where's it at? There it is. And you have to traverse the whole desert to get there. This game definitely makes you travel, but okay. Oh, speaking of things we need to do, we haven't saved or anything in a while, so let's go on ahead and use one of our cottages. Sorry for the glare. I wish I could get it to go away, but that's fine. It's just that one little spot. All right. I didn't save. Let me save. Get ahead of myself here. All right, so we're going in. There's not a whole lot here. There's a couple of nice items. I'll go over those once we get to them. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of items right in here. We'll get to all these. I don't think there's anything super important in here. If there is, I'll let you know. Otherwise, you need to get through this, and then at the end, you use the warp cube to go to a new place. I'll show you once we get there. I think there's a dragon, like a little beam mini boss at the end, but we'll show you. So that was one of the other items. Get to it here. This area has robots. I hadn't seen robots this whole time. Suddenly we got robots. Let's sort everything, and then we'll go down here. So we got the healing helm, which casts heal. They have two items that cast heal. So you can actually, what I would do, or what I did for a long time, is I would have the first two people attack, and then the second two people cast heal. And you stay topped up the whole time. Battles take a little bit sometimes, but you stay healed almost the entire time. You almost have no issues healing. You can just use the second one if you need it. It's entirely up to you. That's probably what I'm going to do, because the Thundara is actually pretty awesome when it's being used by an actual black wizard. I was using it with a knight on my knight playthrough, and it wasn't doing as much. So I don't know if that's just random or that's how it's supposed to be. But in case you're wondering, the healing cat. Let's see, who is it that wears it? Is it just the? Yeah, and you see it has no real defensive value, so no reason to wield it. But and the Vorpal sword. I think Vorpal sword is good for ninjas. I don't think. Yeah, it's a very sharp crescent blade. It doesn't do anything fancy. I don't remember. Yeah, nobody. I think it's for ninjas, because ninjas can't use a lot of the ice brands and stuff like that at this point. So the Vorpal sword's really all you got. So, I don't even know that thieves can use it. So, but back to it. Now the Aegis shield that I just picked up is pretty useful. It guards against stone and poison. definitely put it on because this guy's already got protection from instant death, stone, and poison. So it's definitely going to be useful because he's not going to have a ribbon. Okay, Thor's hammer. I think that casts Thundara as well. I don't remember. Yeah, so she can use it. Yeah, cast Thundara. It actually gives her a little bit of attack. See, it doesn't matter. Her attack isn't useful. Overall, you're not. If you're playing with an only white mage playthrough, of course you're gonna want her to be able to attack as hard as she can. Sunblade hits a little bit harder. It's good against the undead. I would put it on your secondary attacker as opposed to your first. Just because you'd be amazed at how much accuracy does make a difference. And the little bit of attack difference isn't really gonna make that big of a difference. Alright. So Dragon Mail is also really useful. We need to take the stairs and get on out of here. Okay. Once you get to here, it's the 3rd floor. You're going to fight an enemy. It's a blue dragon. Honestly, it's just like anything else. Just focus fire. And it should go down pretty quick. It's not really that difficult of a boss. It's listed in a lot of boss guides because in the original versions it was a little bit more difficult. But it's not really. But we're making it into the Flying Fortress. Should have already had the map up, but I didn't want to get that many tabs up on my laptop all at once. So we're gonna run through. It's mostly teleports. You're gonna be searching for teleporters and moving up. It's not really that difficult. You should level real fast. As you can see, I'm already level 42. You're gonna start leveling really fast at this point because the enemies are gonna give thousands upon thousands of XP. There's not really any enemies that you got to worry about in this area. Some of them are a little bit hardier, but I mean, really, I'm not having any issues, and I'm just keeping it on auto. I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm usually reading something while it's battling. So, yeah, it should be. I was trying to figure out what that was on my screen, but it's where we're flying, and I'm sitting here like right here. I thought it was like, what is it going on with my screen? But it's just the sky. So if there's any interesting items, I'll show them to you. Otherwise, I'm not super worried about it. You'll see them. I'll show you when we get to the boss. So see you then. Now, Razor is another one of those weapons. I'm pretty sure it's just built for, like ninjas to use. It casts Scourge when used, which I think is like an instant death. I've never had an enemy be susceptible to it. I mean, you can, like lesser enemies can, but none that are going to give me a hard enough time that it's not worth it to just use something else. So, and that's the 3rd healing item. So now you have a potential of 150 heals, 150 in heals every turn, for free. So really useful against some of the more difficult bosses, especially if you're running like an all black mage playthrough or all white mage or any of the, jobs that don't have healing potential, like thieves, monks, knights, fighters, any of that. It's very useful because it gives you a chance to heal during battle and not waste your precious resources. So it does slow down battles, but you should have enough gear that you're not going to die if you do that. It just will be, it'll take longer, but it's a good way to survive. Okay, so sorry, I meant to do this and I got a phone call and situations happen. Right here's the last ribbon. It's the last of the ribbons, so you got 3 now. You can put them on anyone you want. Like I said, I tend to put them on my casters, the people that are going to keep my team alive. Because the main guy, the knight, it's going to be harder for him to go down. He's got better HP, he's got better defenses, so the chances of him staying alive are much higher. But that's the last of the ribbons. We've got a little bit more to go. There's so much stuff in these to get everything. But, yeah, I think we've got one more to... yeah, we're there. 3 more floors to go through, and then I'll be at the boss. So I'll see you then. So right here, as you just saw, we picked up the adamantite, which allows us to make Excalibur, which is the best weapon. Well, arguably, the second weapon, the best weapon in the game. The first best weapon we get in the next area, in the final, the actual final dungeon. Excalibur, in my opinion, is I don't know. It is not the best weapon, only because it can only be used by certain classes. Um, and I do think it actually has a lower attack power. We'll test it when we get the mass immune. But yeah, so we've got that. We can do that after we get through here. I mean, you could go back and do it now if you'd prefer, but we might as well wait until the end. It's not going to make a huge difference in this run. Also, we're now getting to the point where Thundara does not hit as hard. And so you're starting to deal with much weaker attacks from that item. If you want to switch over to using 2 heal items at a time, you can. Keeps you topped off better, allows you to kind of deal with enemies as they come across if they're much more difficult, which you will start to see much more difficult enemies very soon. But it still works against some enemies. It does a pretty decent amount of damage. So it's entirely up to you. Black robe and white robe are pretty useful too. So white robe casts Invisra, black robe casts Blizzara. Generally, Invisra, I use it at the very beginning of a boss fight, and then I don't use it again. Blizzara, if you got stuff that's weak against Blizzard, that's when you want to use that. But yeah, I mean, really, they're pretty decent items. They're mostly good for their abilities as opposed to actually wearing, because as you see, it guards against fire and instant death, but we're already using a ribbon, so what's the point? This, you can put this on. It guards against ice and time irregularities. We've already got the ribbon, so what's the point? It'll help you against ice attacks, but it doesn't do enough defense to help you any other time. So, anyway, on to the next. If there's any other items that are kind of important, I'll mention those. But until then, see you in a moment. Okay, so the Protect Cloak. It's kind of useful. Hold on, I don't know why I'm going to him. I think it's... There it is, yeah. The large cloak worn over armor. It gives you a little bit of extra defense. I think either one can wear it. It's useful for black mages, especially because they have so little HP. So I'm going to throw it on him. It doesn't really help with evasion. You lose a little bit of evasion, but you gain some defense. I mean, you can use it. Honestly, it's kind of up to you. Put it on somebody if you don't put it on. If you don't do anything else with it, it doesn't really give you any special abilities or anything. So there's not any reason not to use it. I don't know why you're finding clothes here. It's such a weird thing. So. Yeah, the enemies here, they do a lot of AoEs as well. You got fire attacks, thunder attacks. I haven't seen any blizzard, but everybody does. A lot of the enemies do some kind of AoE or they hit pretty hard. So just be aware of that. But I'll see you in just a moment. I think that was on the 3rd floor. So, yeah, Sasuke's blade. It's Sasuke or Sasuke? Sasuke. I don't know. It is, I think it's only available for ninjas. I think they're the only ones that can use it. I don't remember if it's special or not. Hold on, let's take a look. Small katana used by a ninja. I mean, it has pretty decent attack stats. If you look, attack 28, 22, worm killer. The Vorpal sword has 24. So, I mean, this is probably just about the strongest weapon you can get for a ninja. Now, we're on the 4th floor. And I wanted to show this to you because it's interesting. There's nothing here. It is literally just a floor. It's pretty wide. Gets you from through the floor. I mean, there's nothing here except for enemies. You got some difficult enemies. If they can hit you, they can do some damage, but you should be able to just knock them out right easy. Right easy. It just doesn't sound right. Knock them out right away without too much trouble. Or they run away. So, now, when we get to the 5th floor, the 5th floor is a weird one. So we need to talk about this before we do it, because you're going to get to see this boss, because I'm going to sit here until I get it. There is a boss on this floor, and this floor alone, it's required for the bestiary. So if you're trying to max out your bestiary, you're going to need to do this. This floor is just one long walkway, all the way up here to the boss. There is an enemy called the Warmech. It is the hardest enemy in the game. It It can nearly one-shot you. It's got a ton of HP. It's really hard to beat. And you can sit here and farm. Sometimes you can get it first fight. Sometimes it'll take you 2 hours. But we're going to sit here and go back and forth until it comes across. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it today because I'm going to have to stop and make lunch here in a moment. But at some point you will see this Warmech. But I'm going to sit here until we get it, and then I'll show you the Warmech fight. We'll walk through it, and then we'll do the boss fight. And then after that, if I've got time after editing, then we'll do the final. The final dungeon will probably be the final episode. So I guess I'll see you in a minute whenever the Warmech pops up. So, okay. So after about 20 minutes of just farming back and forth, Warmech finally appeared. I did a quick save about 5-10 minutes ago. I would highly suggest you do the same. I also suggest, and this is something I didn't even think about until I got into the battle, be very, very careful not to keep auto battle on, because you will just automatically do whatever you had auto battle on, and that's probably not the best course of action. So Warmech does a few things that are pretty interesting. For when he hits brutally hard, and he will use a lot of like blaze and things of that nature. We're going to use kind of the same method we tend to do with some variation, okay? So you're definitely going to want no blaze. That is the one thing we must have. For your you want to do Invisra, which is going to give you evasion for your party, and then we're going to do temper. And just temper up. As you see, he hits hard. And that's on my guy that's got the highest defense. Oh, I can't do no blaze because of the ribbon. Forgot about that. That's why it's missing. It's fine. No blaze is considered a status effect. It's weird that it doesn't let you do no blaze, but it will let you do like temper and Vidra. Very strange. So, and she can get on to this. We're gonna do Proterra, and then magic. We're gonna temper up. Nuke, and then we'll have to heal after this because that'll do a ton of damage. As you can see, we're doing quite a bit now with him. I think that was actually a crit though. So Proterra is gonna help. Now we've got to heal. So we're gonna attack with him, magic with this guy. We're gonna do Curaga. We're gonna make sure he's fully healed. White mage. We're going to use Alara, and then go down here to him, healing him. So I kind of figured that was going to happen. You're almost always going to lose one. Okay. Attack. Magic. See, he just drops. I mean, he just drops it constantly. So it's a good chance I could die here. I mean, this guy's no joke. He does a lot of damage. Yeah, he's just dropping nuke after nuke. Okay. Now, hopefully he doesn't attack him first. He attacked the white mage. Good. Be careful. I don't want to use all of my really good stuff right off of the gate here. I'll make him survive a hit, maybe? Yeah. Lord. Alright. Just dropping the nukes constantly. Can't keep people alive. That's alright. We got a couple more full lives. That's not really going to help much. Problem is it heals every turn. So it's... Alright, we're back up. Let's get this temper rolling here. Just non-stop nukes. Yeah, I forget. It's not Blaze it uses. It's Nuke. Nuke's a very different ability. His attack's already gone out. I mean, sometimes you just have to hope and pray that what you do isn't stupid. So. Kira. Temper. Okay. He's got so much HP that it makes it really hard. And he hits, when he does hit, like with that nuke, it does so much damage to the whole party that you're struggling to keep up. So, okay, so I need to start properly curing him. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. I'm running out of full life. Now, I wouldn't normally do this, given this boss, but the boss is coming up. Yeah, we're dead. That's everybody. So, just get it done. And that's the problem. This boss is insane. Oh my god. That is funny. I was just giving up. I was like, you know what? It's not going to work. We're not going to beat this guy. He's going to just destroy us completely. My webcam completely junked out on me, so let's fix that. That is one of the funniest things that's ever happened, actually. And that's the thing. I mean, you just keep fighting until you beat it, or you don't. So, yeah. He has a ton of experience, so he's definitely higher level than the rest. Let's bring everybody back up and get ready for this boss. I'm not really worried about the boss. I can't believe we beat it. That's just so funny. But anyway, so that's the most difficult enemy in the game. I think he's harder than Chaos. Well, he's harder than... I would say he's definitely harder than the Chaos from like the original games. This game, not so much, because with the Pixel Remaster, they randomized Chaos's abilities, so he can literally Kiraja himself every turn, giving himself immortality, basically. But he can Kiraja, nuke, Kiraja, nuke, Kiraja, nuke, just constantly. And so you can't, there's nothing you can do. I've actually had that happen where I just had to let him kill me and start over. Because he was constantly like every time I would get him to like low health, he would just cure himself completely. 9,999. And that was he was doing that every 3 turns. I couldn't do enough damage. Not in survive. So, but anyway, this is Tiamat. So, with Tiamat, he's not that hard. Same as always. Burn him down quick. You can use things like Flare and Holy and do a pretty decent amount of damage, which we will do. We're going to use Holy with our White Mage. And then the same old template, just temper, temper, temper. And then Holy, where are you at? Still got a couple there. Temper, we got a couple here. So, it's hard, but not as hard as what we just dealt with. So honestly, I'm not worried. I think Holy should hit pretty decent. Should be like 300. So we're gonna do the same here. Do the same here. I'm not gonna Holy with this. I'm going to heal. Might as well use the healing. And magic. I'll use the last temper. And then the Black Mage will start pumping out flares. Honestly, he should hit pretty hard now. I've got 2 more tempers for him. Yeah, we'll throw a heal right out. And then we can go down here and flare. If he even survives it. I don't know that he's going to survive this turn. Oh, he did. Not bad. Now we got 1 more temper. And from there, let's go ahead and Holy 1 more time, and then we'll flare. We're using everything we've got because we don't want this battle to take long, which it didn't. Yeah, Warmech is just an enemy. I think it was meant as a joke, but it's not funny. But no, I mean that's all there is to it. You know, you get the wind crystal, and now we're ready to go to the Chaos Shrine. Pretty sure that's all we have left. The Chaos Shrine. Yeah, Temple of Chaos. We're gonna go get the Excalibur. That'll be the last thing we do this episode, and then we will go do the Chaos Shrine. Chaos Shrine is probably not going to take that long. I can just talk the whole way through. It'll probably take us about an hour, maybe. But yeah, so let's leave here. We are going to go do Excalibur. But first, let's go ahead and semi-heal here. I'm just going to use a tent. But yeah, so Warmech. Be prepared, because you're not prepared enough. I probably could have done better, but you know, I wanted to get the temper thing going. The last time I faced it, I did the all nights playthrough. Actually, it popped up with like the third or fourth battle on that bridge. I was trying to level up, and it hurt a lot, but I was actually able to beat it with them. So, which was actually pretty interesting. I wish I had recorded it, but I didn't because I was just farming. But it was all of the hill helms were being used. I was using both of the hill helms. The healing helms, I was using both of those, the healing staff, and I was using is it Razor? No. One that casts Saber. Yeah. And Giant's Gloves. I was using both of the healing helms and the healing staff, just constantly rotating them. That's constant, and then just sabering one guy over and over and over again, and then letting him attack, and then using like high potions and stuff to keep people alive. But it only used nuke like 3 times during the whole battle, so it wasn't really that bad. This time it used nuke 8 a lot. From here, we are going to the dwarves. Now, Duragar, I think is what it's called. Where's it at? It's up here. Yeah, it's right there. Now we go. Over here. This guy up here, talk to him. He's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you've got adamantine or adamantite." Then he's gonna make you Excalibur, which is a very pretty looking pixel sword. Then we're going to equip that on our main attacker. 64 attack. And then we can attack or attach the defender here. Gives us some more accuracy. The Sunblade does more attack. It's effective against the undead. I'm not worried about it. Okay. So, we've done basically everything we can do here. We are going to go rest at an inn and save. So, since we're Chaos Shrine is our next place to go, which is right here, we are going to go back to where it all began. Yep. And step in here. Now, if there's any gear you haven't gotten at this point, if there's any items, any spells that you haven't gotten, you have a ton of money to work with. And so there's no reason for you to not go back and pick up every single spell, item, whatever you can. If you need money, you can just farm the Chaos Shrine. You're going to get tons of money from the Chaos Shrine. You can go back to the sky tower and do it there. But you're gonna have plenty of money. Go purchase anything you haven't already purchased that you need to purchase. Any spells that you may want, and then yeah, I mean, the world's your oyster at this point. Travel around, make sure you finish up anything in your bestiary, which I'm going to check before we go to the Chaos Shrine if there's any enemies that I'm missing. I think there's one. And then I'll figure out where it's at and we'll go and find it, because I think it's one of the harder ones to find. But yeah, so next episode is the Chaos Shrine. I'm really excited. Finally going to be getting our way through Final Fantasy 1. I just now realized that this shirt, because it's so light, it acts like a green screen. So I am like partially clear. Have I been like that this whole episode and nobody told me? It's alright. I'm just... Oh, I know exactly what the problem is. And normally, when I start filming, I have a couple of lights that I turn on. And that usually helps. Hold on one second. Woo, that's bright. Let's tone you down just a tad. Tone you down. These are some like Amazon Basics lights that I got years ago, and they're fantastic. But that's normally what I do, but it was brighter in here when I started, so I think it should be fine. But yeah, as you can see, the light makes a difference, but because it was dark, it wasn't working out well. So that's probably been like that this whole episode. I apologize for that. But it's one of those things I wasn't thinking about. It's been a minute. So anyway, next time we'll be doing the Chaos Shrine. So ready to get to Final Fantasy 2. Honestly, I am really, really excited for Final Fantasy 4. It's my favorite one of all time. But we'll get there soon enough. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be much more active on Twitter. I was active there for a minute, and like I said, life got crazy. I'll be much more active there. So definitely like, comment, subscribe down below if you like what I do. You're going to see me on Twitter. I'm going to start being on Twitch at the beginning of next month. But for now, I got some stuff I got to get sorted out. And I may start up a Patreon. I've got another channel I'm working on. I've also got Let's Eat that's going to start here soon, which is another channel. And it will be focused mainly on my weight loss journey, which is going to be starting this week. So look out for that. I'll put a link to it down below because it should be started about the same time that this launches. But thank you all so much. You'll have a wonderful rest of your day and take care.